Hi guys, good evening. Welcome back once again to the EdWord. I'm your host Eddie, and in tonight's video I will be doing my review for the most recent episode of The Strain, which premiered last night on FX. And it was one of those ones that made you go, wow, at the end of it. Before I keep talking too much, of course, and I keep gushing like a fanboy, please be advised and warned that this video review will be full of massive spoilers regarding the most recent episode of The Strain. If you're not caught up on The Strain by this episode or a couple of episodes, don't keep watching or listening, as I will be going into big spoilery details. So you have been warned, and once you are caught up, come on back and give this video a listen or a watch. I think you'll find what I have to say interesting. That being said, really good episode. I realize we only have two more left. One more, and then the season finale in like 2 weeks. I can't believe this season's almost over. And then, we're just reminded of the fact that it got renewed for its fourth and final season, which will probably be premiering next summer. So it's really something. But this episode was really good. What I liked about it is that, well, there were things I liked about it and things that I didn't like about it. So let me start with stuff I didn't like. I was a little suspicious that potential romance was going to blossom between Dutch and F while working on how to figure out to crack the Strigoi signal. I was a little worried that was going to happen simply because I would really prefer Dutch to reunite with Fett eventually. That's not a huge priority, but if she was going to be with anybody on the show, I'd like it to be Fett, because I really liked their dynamic and their budding romance that was teased at the end of season 1, and obviously it was through most of last season 2. And we really haven't seen it much this season. I don't know if it adds that much to the story, but I would just prefer to see her with Dutch rather than F. And the thing is that F and Fett weren't always the closest of friends. They became closer in season 2, but then recently this season, when Quinlan and F went behind everybody's backs and they tried to get Zack back and tried to lure out the Master with the Lumen, and it nearly jeopardized their plans to eliminate the Master once and for all. Of course, Satrakian and Fett are pissed at him. And it's not going to help matters that if Fett ever finds out about him and Dutch, him and his ex-girlfriend, it won't make their relationship any better or easier. So it's like, great. It'll be interesting conflict-wise, for storytelling. But it's just like, damn it, I kind of wish that didn't happen. I get why it happened. They have been working together for a while. Their relationship's been building, but at the same time, I wish they didn't go that route. But who knows? Maybe it won't last long, or maybe one will piss off the other. I don't know. What I also, that was the main thing that I didn't like. There were a couple other things too. What was it? Or maybe that was just the only thing. Yeah, you know what? That might have been the only thing. Okay, things I did like. I liked seeing, for once, a flashback that wasn't a flashback of Satrakians. I like his flashbacks. They're interesting stories. But this case, we got to see a little bit more of Gus's past history. I thought that was pretty interesting. Apparently his dad was an abusive alcoholic. I'm assuming he was an alcoholic. And his uncles, took care of that after they could only put up with so much shit. And, this episode obviously was a pretty defining moment for Gus. He was finally able to let go of his mother. He put her down, but he put her down in order to save his friend's life, which, of course, I think anybody in his shoes would have done, because he finally realized she's not his mother anymore. She always will be, but at that moment, she was just another monster, and she was about to kill Angel. And thank God he was quick on that pistol, because bam, she went down. And, we finally saw Gus. We've seen him in mourning before, but we finally saw a tear. Sorry about that. We finally saw a tear go down his cheek, and he and Angel have made up their minds that they are definitely going to try to get out of the city. They need to leave the city because they can't deal with all this Strigoi shit anymore. That was the other thing. Now I remember. The other thing that I didn't like about this episode, as interesting as it is to have these different groups of characters on their own separate little journeys dealing with the vampire apocalypse, it's great. I love it. but I also eventually would like to see our characters reunite as a group, like we saw in season 1 and most of season 2. Season 3, our characters have been briefly reunited, and I say briefly because everybody's off doing their own separate thing, but I really enjoyed the group dynamic from season 1 and 2. And I'm assuming and hopefully that in the final 2 episodes of season 3, either next week's episode or at least in the season finale, our main group of characters are all going to come together, the ones that are left at least. And I say the ones that are left because, we obviously saw what happened to poor Quinlan. Now, granted, this isn't the first time the strain has ended on kind of a cliffhanger episode, where the episode where we saw Quinlan supposedly decapitate the Master, and we weren't sure of his fate. Obviously, it was quickly confirmed he was still alive. And I hope he can move as fast as Eichhorst, because he either needed to disarm that bomb or he needed to get the hell out of there. That was one of the highlights of the episode, was seeing the Strigoi go against each other. The Sun Hunters versus the Strigoi, the massive horde of Strigoi. And the Ancients, how cool was that? Every time we see the Ancients, they're always in these submissive, coffin-like position, and they're always like... having the Sun Hunters speak for them. But what was, it was so cool to finally see him, and I thought to myself, you know what? There's no way you live 1,000+ years without learning how to fight and defend yourself. And sure enough, that's exactly what they did. They were powerful, capable fighters, knocking down Strigoi like they were nothing, ripping off their heads. And of course, it was super badass of Quinlan, cutting down Strigoi left and right. It was a cool little battle scene. Unfortunately, I think it's safe to say the Sun Hunters and the Ancients are probably eliminated, so the humans are on their own now, with the exception of Quinlan, if he did indeed survive this explosion, the white light attack. It's possible he survived. He survived worse. If he did survive, perhaps he'll be badly scarred or burnt, like I predicted what would happen with Vaughn if he ever returned. That seems highly unlikely now. But I sure hope Quinlan comes out okay, because I really like him and I don't want him to die. But that was a great finish to a really good episode, was having that little mini Strigoi battle. We've seen humans fighting and killing Strigoi. It was nice to see Strigoi versus Strigoi. That was pretty awesome. And seeing the Ancients in action too. I really liked that, so that was cool. Oh, and the whole Blood Factory thing, ew. And how could you at the same time? I'm like, if Palmer really wants to redeem himself, not necessarily in his own eyes or in Satrakian's eyes or something, but if he truly wants to redeem himself, he has really got to start working on it, because he has practically sold his soul to the devil, literally and metaphorically, and handed humanity on a silver platter to the Master and all the Strigoi. So he's got a lot of making up to do, although something tells me he won't be around much longer in order to do so. But, he's not doing this because his conscience is bothering him. He's doing this because he's not gaining anything in his alliance anymore with the Master. So, it's not doing this because it's the right thing to do. He's doing it for his own selfish reasons. But I love that line Satrakian quipped at him about, it can't be worse than the monster right in front of me. So I'm excited. Only 2 more episodes of this season to go. Can't wait to see how it turns out. I hope Quinlan's going to be okay. What did you guys think of tonight's episode? Force of habit. Last night's episode. Did you love it? Did you enjoy it? Did you hate it? Please leave your thoughts, opinions, and your feedback down below in the comments section. I'd love to hear from everybody. Please, no internet trolling. You can disagree with each other. Just do so in a polite and civil manner. Also, don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more episode reviews like this one, as we are getting close to the ending of Season 3 of The Strain. Don't forget to check out my Facebook page in the description down below. I think you'll like what you see. The Strain has its final 2 episodes of the season, premiering these 2 coming Sundays on FX. Check your local listings for times. Have a great rest of the night, everybody. And of course, until next time, may the Force be with you.